Hi guys, back again with an update for June 2014. Sorry I didn't get a layout update uploaded onto YouTube sooner, but exams kind of cut into the amount of time I was able to spend up here. And I was also waiting on a few new cars to arrive, so without further ado, let's get started. First off, I want to give out a few shout outs to some people. The first one is to Mage Evans, Majevans. Great looking layout, and me and him have actually been talking through YouTube. Great guy. He also has some cool builds going on right now, so definitely go check him out. The second person I'd like to give a shout out to is Dick Hawkshaw. I'd just like to say thanks for having me out to the second annual Freemo meet this past weekend. If you haven't seen the video for that I uploaded, definitely go check it out. Great looking Freemo module layout, or a module layout so to speak. And I also got to see his personal layout. If you haven't seen the video of his personal layout, definitely go check it out. Just amazing detail and amazing scenery work. So thank you, Dick, for having me out there this past weekend. I'd also like to give a shout out to Harry Southern and any other Cold Slap Freemo member. Just awesome people and some awesome looking modules. Harry Southern especially does some really nice looking scenery work on his modules. You'll notice there's a few modules. I think one's called Colley's Curve, which has the lumber mill, great scenery, and there's also that big bridge span, which also has some amazing scenery. Definitely recommend checking him out. As for the layout, I have done a few things, and I've been messing around with some track yet again. This time, well, it's in the same spot as usual, really. I'll just explain what I did here. There used to be a switch here, which you can see the switch machine is still here. I have to cut the wires and resolder them, but the train cars and the train engines didn't really agree on the curvature and how everything was configured. There would be a lot of derailments and the trains would wobble and kind of tip off the tracks and whatnot. And that's because they'd come around the corner, and Atlas switches tend to have a little bit of a wave in them. So it would kind of do a bit of a wave on here, and then it would hit this short curve, tighter curve right here, and then it'd have to diverge into the siding down here. And it just, the way the cars had to move through it, it would just cause a big derailment and whatnot. So to fix that, I moved the switch from here up to here, and now I expanded the siding about 4 or 5 car lengths. But the radius still isn't that great here, but my engines and the 50-foot cars can go through there without a problem. And there really isn't any long cars that have to come along or in this area anyways, because it doesn't service any auto racks or intermodal and whatnot. But the trains run over it a lot smoother, and I haven't really been doing much other track work. I've just been kind of tuning some of the track work up, some of the areas that I didn't lay down the track properly to begin with, I've just kind of been fixing up. So I've also been making a little bit of progress on the roads. As you can see, I have been set my tripod up here. I have some weights on the sidewalk there, which I was just completed the sidewalk in the front tonight. But since the last layout update, I've siliconed the roads down and the sidewalks. The sidewalks are double stacked of the fun foam. I think the fun foam's only a couple millimeters thick, but it gives that depth with the sidewalk being a certain or higher than the road. And I need to repaint the sidewalks. They do look a little bit white right now, and the roads will be repainted because you can see I filled in all the cracks. You can see by the building there's a little crack where the fun foam meets, and I'm gonna paint it a bit of like a weathered, not really weathered, but a worn down road, so it's almost a little bit gray. And to fill in the gaps, I'm using this DAP drywall filler. Works pretty good. And yeah, that's basically all on the roads. I haven't made any progress on the bridge that's supposed to be behind that building there, but I am getting the measurements for it, and I'm about to cut the wood. So hopefully by the next layout update, you'll see that bridge in place and the roads complete. So I haven't really done much scenery, but up here on the mountain, I've added some more trees, and I've just been taking the little tinier pieces of super trees and adding them as underbrush to make the forest look a little more dense. And other than that, I just added this patch of trees there, and I only have about a quarter of a super trees box left, so I'll have to order another one. And if I order another one, it's probably, I won't have enough space to put all the trees, so in my expansion the trees will go there and I'll just save them for later. I've been experimenting with decals, and I recently picked up some micro scale graffiti decals from my hobby shop, and I have to say they are a little bit harder to put on than I thought they would be, but they look great once they are applied to your rolling stock. So I did those 2 BNSF hoppers, and then I did that Union Pacific reefer with graffiti, and I did a couple other cars and that are scattered in the mountains on the freight train and whatnot, but they look really good once they're completed. And last but not least, I got some new rolling stock, and the first two are these 2 ready to roll Athearn 2900 cubic foot covered hoppers. Great amount of detail. I'll be doing a review on these, but the one problem I had with this one, and it was only this one, it wasn't the Chicago Northwestern, is the screw was tapped in on an angle, which made the truck kind of sit like that, on an angle like so, and every time it hit a switch plate, it would derail and jump the track and cause a short. And I managed to bend it back and tap the screw into its right position, and I put a couple spacers in there, so now it runs pretty good. I also noticed that they do have quite a bit of weight to them, so you do need some pulling power if you're going to run a whole train of just these cars. But yeah, I'll be going into more detail on those, and they're great looking cars. Second car is this BLMA 64-foot Trinity Reefer, and I have to say I'm really impressed with this car. I have 2 more on order, and this is in the Tropicana paint scheme. As you can see, I've put some graffiti decals right there, and I will be doing a review on these shortly once I pick up the other 2. And great amount of detail as always from BLMA. Very impressed with their products. Also, I also got these 4 new Athearn Genesis tank train tank cars, and for those of you who don't know why they're called the tank train, is because they are all joined by these little tubes right here, and they are very flexible in the HO scale, which is nice. I thought they were going to be a little more rigid, but they do move quite freely, and they are very flimsy. So very impressed with these cars. But basically what the tube does is that each car has 2 pumps in it, one at the front of the car and one at the end of the car, and you would basically only have to hook up one hose to the front of the train, and it would drain the train from the back all the way to the front. So that's pretty cool, I thought. I have one more lane paint scheme, which is just plain black, and then the early paint scheme with the orange and white will sit right in the center, which I think will look pretty cool. And again, I'll be doing a review on these. These last 2 cars, the CN is a Intermountain, great amount of detail. Those are grain. Those are used for grain now, but They were used for potash. I'll be doing a more in-depth review on those. And then I also got this After and Ready to Roll 3-bay Trinity hopper and the CSX How Tomorrow Moves paint scheme. Quite impressed with those, same as the BNSFs. Again, great amount of detail, and I'll be going into more detail in the reviews. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and have a nice day.